Rahobat, Rahobat. Up late night with you, this shadow. Good evening to all the family on the Nuwaupian family worldwide. I just got finished watching Sonetta TV, which is a brand name. We'll get into that later. With Huhi Reye, Huhi Ka Om Reye. And big up to the brother. He's traveling. He's definitely explaining to our people what the culture is. I'm biting off your line, Huhi, off the lecture you did out there in Detroit. I like that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, just got finished watching Sonetta TV with who he interviewed, and it went pretty good. For the first time, Sonetta didn't kick me out the chat room. Thank you, Sonetta. I appreciate that because this is a Nuwaupian forum. He let me kind of get my words in. Now, I do want to make a couple of corrections. One thing, Sonetta, you tripped me out on is when, you want to think you asking the Nuwaupians the tough questions, but you won't ask your constituents and your comrades the tough questions. You won't ask Tazariak, when is he going to translate a Torah for his people? You know that would be the crushing question. And you scared to ask it to them brothers. You scared to ask Ali Muhammad, right? When is he going to translate the Quran for his people? You know what it is, Sonetta. Ask them that if you want to show fair gentlemanship, whatever that is. But anyway, he went in on Bambatta a little bit. And let me explain something to you. I was the one in the chat room that said Bambatta is family. Now, what I mean by that is that first of all, we Nuwaupians have our own rules and how to live by, and the 24,000 year sun cycle is a full description of the Nuwaupian laws of what's going on. Nuwaupian sun cycle laws, all of them. And it goes into how Partner Babianoon breaks down how we deal with molestation, fighting, everything. Thievery, etc., etc. So, that's one thing people miss right there. Our laws and culture are right there online. And so anyway, what I mean personally, this is a personal opinion, not something that I'm speaking for on behalf of the nation for. No, this is the Nuwaupian assassin's personal opinion. And what I mean by Bambatta is family is that whether he's innocent or guilty, he's still family unless he was to get expelled from the tribe. That's what Huhi Ka was talking about when he would be dealt with severely or extremely punished. Because to be cast from a great nation like this is whoa. You know what I'm saying? That's if he is found to be guilty. And also after that, Huhi Ka also broke down another point about how growing up as a Hebrew Israelite, all right, how, they were men at 12 and 13. So that would mean that, most of these boys were teenagers around that age, maybe a little bit older. I doubt if they were younger. Because now what a 7-year-old, 8-year-old boy son that are doing around hanging around grown men in hip hop. It's not their circle, man. Come on. Anyway, also on the show, what I noticed was that who he handled Ankh pretty smoothly and easily. Young Pharaoh, Allah don't want none when it comes to a debate. Neither does Ali Muhammad, Seti. None of y'all want it. Not even Polite. Polite don't even want it with Huhi. Polite is really no. Polite don't want it either. You know what I'm saying? Polite wouldn't even debate it. It's not, Polite would learn first, then come back. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, also I noticed about Sonetta TV is that Polite is under the gun right now. There's a lot of heat coming that brother's way. You know what I'm saying? And so if wu-nuwaupu is so hated so much, and quote, like they say, Dr. York is so, we appreciate the format. Don't get it twisted to have our side of the story. Oh, that's much appreciated because people need to hear two sides of the story. And so many of our people are counting him out. And you know, the case has been explained over and over and over, and a lot of people who are asking questions about the case are new jack niggas who don't know what they talking about and can't seem to be able to read, and it's already been covered. You know, Partner Baby and just stay answering the questions and dealing with the slanders himself, really, with the let my words be known, etc., etc. So Chuck Morgan, Ankh, all y'all, Rick, you know, losers, you know, and who he calls breaking down how most people who are leaders in the quote so-called conscious community were ex-Nuwaupians, and that's so real. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Ankh studied. Your boy over there with Titan TV, he had the books up on his shelf. You know what I'm saying? Ankh know what it is. I mean, he just trying to get a TV show and his ratings up like Sonetta TV is right now. And wu-nuwaupu is carrying all y'all stations. If y'all stop talking about the Nuwaupian doctrine, y'all ratings will go down. And because we the only ones that's bringing something educational in that fire. Love it or hate it. His brother who he called broke down the Moors. And I also wanted to touch on this. All right, when they was talking about how Dr. York is from another planet and all this and all that. You know, a lot of people seem to want to accept incarnations and avatars when it comes to other cultures. Niggas accept the Hindu avatar, they accept Jesus, they accept Muhammad, they accept Gabriel, all this, you know, say Anu and Nusku and all, you know, all these different cultures. But when it comes to your own African spiritual science, y'all don't want to seem to accept it. And the information comes through him, not from him. So he broke down how the physical body, he was born of a woman that's here. It's the etheric connection. You know what I'm saying? And it was well broken down, and just a lot of people just not gonna get it. They not having DNA explosions. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not for them. That's overstandable. But yet people can't seem to bring an intelligent argument to, you know what I'm saying? Because if in other words, since you can't find the white man's confirmation of it, y'all just don't know what to do with yourselves. You know what I'm saying? And you can't. And the only African confirmation, because this information that's being put out now was before the Caucasians' time, then you only have your soul left. All right, let's see where you stand with that. So, also, what did who he break down? Yeah, he broke down so much, man. Love it the way the brother went in on what was that? The hydrogen, the hydrotahite, something like that. Was it? I must admit, now, you know, that's the first time I heard of that. Hydrotide or something like that. Man, I have to wait till Sonetta to put the video up again. If, you know, hopefully it's not edited too much. But the way he broke down hydrogen, you know, and a lot of people's questions, you know, also with the extraterrestrial doctrine. Listen up, Nubians. The white man is telling y'all that extraterrestrials are real. Now, this is one of the first times, you know, usually, you know, you accepted the white man's religion. Now he's telling you the truth straight up, what it is in your face, and y'all not accepting it. They telling you the experiences they have. Many people are coming out over the cover up because they see what it is, you know, and they see that they on the menu and they trying to warn their people to get their shit together. But, you know what I'm saying? And then blacks being in the image and in the likeness of these Caucasians who are on the menu, you know, then you become a part of the menu. So we don't want that. So, you know, but, you know, a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of people not going to wake up. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And Sonetta, this is the point. Yeah, good point on this one, Sonetta, how Sonetta was explaining that in the chat room, as usual. There's a lot of men, grown-ass men, making a lot of comments about homosexuals and faggots and all that. There's a lot of punks in the chat room, straight up. Want to be punks. That's all they rap about. And they try to do it in an insulting way, but really it gets played. It's tired. And all you just is a name-calling, sissified ass, grown ass man. You know, that niggas showing who they are, man. Niggas is lifting up their own skirts. You know what I'm saying? Wu-nuwaupu definitely lifting them up. So, you know, and it was so much to learn on that. You know what I'm saying? And also another good point that he that who he broke down was how young Pharaoh was reading the doctrine. It's obvious. He can't laugh it off. He reading the doctrine. You can't fool nobody. You know what I'm saying? You can make it try to sound as deep as you want and go into all that, try to mix wu-nuwaupu with all these other side doctrines and all that. People have tried it before you. You just a carbon copy of wu-nuwaupu, yo. Admit it. Come on home. And I like the way who he take the high road and really expressing that he's not trying to hurt nobody and no banging on nobody. We just defending the doctrine. And he showed me another way how to do it. Still maintain love for the brother. You know what I'm saying? Just, because it shouldn't get to no physical confrontation. We just right now we mentally, it's a mental war. We mentally breaking down the different mind states and clearing that bullshit out with facts, like it or not. You know what I'm saying? And also, a lot of people want to talk about the recantments and how Abigail or whatever, I don't even know the sister's name, but anyway, how she had to recant her recantment. And that was because they was threatening her to take her children. Now, Brother Son right now also broke down how he had to take a guilty plea and he wasn't guilty just to get out of jail. You know what I'm saying? So, it's plenty of other brothers and sisters who have been in those shoes and did what they had to do. And unfortunate, it went down that way. But why would you be in tears crying on the stand if you know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of pain in that. And I'm not going to go into that and try to hurt people's families behind that. So, a lot of the youngsters who went through that, ordeal are very, very sorry and regretful now because they realized the mistake that they made. You know what I'm saying? So, how would you feel if you was one of those co-conspirators that lied against Partner Babi Yanun and now you see the state of the world and you want to come home? Do you feel you would be accepted after the shit you did? And a lot of them really in their heart want to come home and they realize they made a mistake, but they don't know how they're going to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy. You know what I mean? And those you got to worry about. Those people, don't they got feelings too? I mean, and then Montel on the Montel show with them 3 tricks. A lot of people are trying to write books and things of that nature to get some money. And matter of fact, Sonnetter, it's a question you can ask. Ask the people who was victimized, did they ever get any compensation money? And if they didn't, why not? You know what I'm saying? What happened to the compensation money that the, quote, victims were supposed to be getting? They ain't get a dime. Better check up Sonnetter on that one. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all know what it is. It's wu-nuwaupu. And we're the only ones that's bringing fresh, new information. Partner Babi Yanun is always bringing something new. Let's touch on that, Sonnetter. When you was trying to break down, how Dr. York always changes up the doctrine. What you don't know is the schools. Now, you just like you go from first grade to second grade to third grade in school. That's changing up the doctrine because first grade has a doctrine, second grade has a doctrine, third grade has a doctrine. That's different levels of math and science. In first grade, you might learn arithmetic or, multiplication, long division, short division. All of those are different levels of math that you learn. And yet there's still more math to learn because then you have algebra, fractions, calculus, all of these different degrees of math and different grades you learn. So the same thing is with the schools of wu-nuwaupu. You know what I'm saying? The first, when he brought wu-nuwaupu in the 60s, people wasn't ready for it. And it's obvious because they hardly, it's almost 30, 40 years later and African people's mind is so under the spell, they ain't even ready for it now. A lot of people are though. Young minds like young Pharaoh, you know what I'm saying? You can see they reading, he overstayed it quick. You know what I mean? So, you can try to mix it up in new lectures if you want to, but hey, people gonna know the source. All right, also, Brother Ankh got his ass whooped by another youngin'. First was by young Pharaoh, now it's by a brother who he, you know what I'm saying? Ankh better leave these young soldiers alone, man. Ankh, you too old to be trying to get up in there and debate. And here's another thing, Sonnetter. Let's get on this right quick. how Sonetta always uses the word beast. Oh, he's a beast. He's a beast of what? Ankh is a beast. Tazariak is a beast. Now here he is supposed to be God mind. That's why learning your languages is so important. You mean to tell me, son, that out of all these words in English, you can't find a better word to describe a person who debates good? He's a beast? What is a beast? In Jonah, sackcloth. You know what I'm saying? So you're not showing them no respect. You know what I'm saying? Talking about finding new words about the conscious community. You know, or for the conscious community, you know what I'm saying? Instead of calling it the conscious community, then why are we out here calling supposed to be men who are supposed to be gods and goddesses, right? Why are we referring to them as a beast? You know what I'm saying? I might not agree with Ankh, but Ankh know he's a god. He can be the black atheist, all that bullshit that he wants to, but he still know he a god. Whether you do agreeable or disagreeable, there are agreeable and disagreeable gods here that we dealing with. Because still, a lot of y'all have broken the spell of religion and things. You feel what I'm saying? But yet you haven't accepted the doctrine of wu-nuwaupu. You choose to be your own God. So that means what? That you've accepted the doctrine of being your own God. So you are disagreeable. You know, it's no such thing as a righteous, quote, community. Righteous of what? You're agreeable or disagreeable. And that's just, and that goes in degrees in different stages. All right, so you don't understand the different schools is all. We went through the school of Mohammedanism, Christianism, Moslemism. You see nobody can't come up against us, whether in Arabic, ancient Aramic, Nubic, the Moors, all these different doctrines. That show you how powerful the teacher is, and you can't get by one of the students without getting burnt up. So, I mean, this is nothing to be played with. The Patarak actual facts and the many countless updates. It's a lot of science on the updates. You know what I'm saying? So, big up once again to Huhi, and big up to you, Sonetta, because it was a good, very good interview. And y'all know wu-nuwaupu keep y'all TV ratings up, man. Whether you talk about it positively or negatively. You know what I'm saying? All right, and with that being said, once again, it was a good interview. I enjoyed myself. You know what I'm saying? I was staying positive in the chat room, trying to anyway, giving my brother who he support. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Just like people give they people support, I'm right there with my family all day, every day. Wu-nuwaupu.